This is The Sports Source, presented by Bill Hotz and Associates, and by Renewal by Andersen, with your host, John Pennington.
Good Sunday morning and welcome into The Sports Source, presented by Renewal by Andersen. Happy to have you with us today. As you can see, we got a full crew here. We are going to be breaking down a lot that went on during and after yesterday's spring game. We've got three more guys waiting in the wings. We're going to report on recruiting. We're going to talk about the big VFL gathering. We got a couple of guys who were there on Friday. Give you some insights into that. Some interesting news on the weight room we'll talk about. Lots of stuff today. Let's dive right in. First segment brought to you by Renewal by Andersen, the makers of the best windows and doors in America. They have a great deal for you right now. During April, which means we're closing down the end of this thing, it's their 30-day sale. There's about, 8 days left, I guess. Buy one window, get another for 40% off. Plus, no money down and no interest payments for a full year. Renewal by Andersen, they are the name in the business for windows and doors. They are top. Get with them. It improves the value of your home. It's energy efficient. It's spectacular. Renewal by Andersen. All right. Want to welcome in the guys you just saw a moment ago. I'll introduce them, though. Bob Hodge, we got the Fab Four. As you said, the ex-Sentinel Men. It's the X-Men. Bob Hodge, Jimmy Himes, Mike Strange, Chuck Cavalier.
Does that make me Ringo? Am I like the drummer?
We'll just leave it.
I've got the nose.
We'll be on nothing but wide shots for me today. If you're wondering, why aren't they doing the tight shot? I had a spider bite this week. And so instead of getting tight shots and you going, we're just going to stay wide this week. But let me just say, I was in Columbus, Ohio. I wish Southeast Termite and Pest Control actually did the hotel that I was in Columbus, Ohio. But anyway, that's why we're sitting wide today. The Orange team, I was really rooting for the Orange. The Orange team won yesterday. That's the first team offense, second team defense. They beat the White team 34-7. White team was first team defense, second team offense. Whipped them 34-7. It was pretty good. Crowd was announced at 65,000. Looked more like 40 to 45,000. Okay. First segment, I just want to have general observations about the game itself. Jeremy Pruitt said some things afterwards, and I want to talk about his honesty for the next two segments. But right now, what stood out to you? Anything good stand out? Let's talk positives. Were there any positives that you saw?
Marquez Callaway's won. Made a great catch and looked like, well, you can win with him in the SEC. So I would put that out there first as something that stood out to me.
Can I go against Chuck almost immediately? If Marquez Callaway is that good, he ought to have been eating up the corners on that defense. I thought that Marquez Callaway didn't do as well as I actually thought he could do against that defense. I was a little bit disappointed in him and the entire receiving corps, even though they had good numbers. Some of that, I think, was on Garantano, who I also wasn't as impressed by as some other people were.
So much for starting with the positives.
I thought the running backs looked pretty good.
That's the one.
Tim Jordan, I thought he made a really nice move near the goal line when he dodged the first tackler who was Sapp, and then he ran into the end zone for a touchdown. Ty Chandler, I thought looked pretty good. Heck, I thought Eli Wolf did a nice job. He had 5 catches, made a really nice catch on a touchdown reception.
Yeah, the Chandler and Jordan combined for, 110 yards on 20-something carries, 2 touchdowns. Good day for them.
They stayed out there a long time, too.
Yeah. Your thoughts on, well, they really have to.
I know.
You don't have a lot of depth there.
I know.
Especially until Madre London arrives. You actually get another body, the guy that's transferring in from Michigan State. Mike, thoughts?
Well, going back to what I said last Sunday, it was good to see Samaglia hit a couple of 40-plus yard field goals. But I thought Garantano looked okay. I thought he looked noticeably better than he did last fall. I thought he made some pretty good throws, and I don't remember any what was he thinking throws.
Okay.
But still a couple of them where you hold on to the ball too long. You know, that's what I think is, but that's a negative. Don't want to go there.
We'll get into, go ahead.
I was about to say, to get back to the positive, I think the running backs, Greg McElroy on the SEC network said there's nobody here that could start for Alabama. Okay, that may be true, but I thought your running backs really did look like SEC caliber guys. Okay. I thought that's the one place where, okay, that's where you look like you could compete with people.
Okay, now let's flip it, as we always do at these spring games. Running game looked really good. Is that because the running game is really good, or because your run defense stinks? And remember, you didn't have Kirkland or Batuli out there for the first team defense yesterday.
Right.
But I was if you're impressed with the running backs, you can't say you were impressed with the D-line or the linebackers, and certainly Jeremy Pruitt wasn't.
No, and I don't even think the offensive line was all that impressive. I think that's what made the running backs look better. I thought that they were doing things on their own and making moves, but no, I think your defense was awful.
Okay.
And can Kirkland and Batuli make that big of a difference? And maybe they can. I mean, you know, I think Kirkland probably the best player you've got coming back that didn't do much last year because of injury.
I thought the front seven would be better on defense than it was. I wasn't too impressed with it. Every now and then somebody would show up, but it wasn't on a consistent basis. So here's Tuttle making a play, and then where did he go? Phillips made a play, and then you didn't see him.
Where was Kongbo a lot of the game?
Yeah,
you know?
so that's
had one sack, but you know, a sack in that situation, obviously. But you look at, to me, one of the things that stood out was lack of depth, and by that, how terrible was that second team offense? Now, granted, you're dealing because we know how few offensive linemen you have. Well, that's not going to change by much in the fall. I mean, it's not like you've got 10 guys coming in here in the fall. To me, that second team offense is pretty scary. Tells me you don't want to have many guys that get hurt on the first team offense, or you're going to be in trouble. I just don't see a lot of depth, and I thought that showed up when you looked at that second string offense. On a different note, you know, we all went in wondering, are they going to throw more? Are they going to run more? How much are they going to be under center? I thought they were just eyeballing it. They were under center most of the day. Who knows what they'll do come fall, but I thought for a fan base that has wanted to get back to kind of more of a power football approach, it was good to see a pro style back out there. I'm not a big spread guy fan anyway.
I did think this offense is going to fit your personnel a little bit better than running the read option offense. I do think that, you know, you're going to get some people back that's not out there right now. I thought the offensive scheme looked pretty good. I thought it looked fine. I think you've got issues with players, but the scheme looked good.
But you're still going to have some questions. If you're going to run the pro-style offense, are you going to have a fullback out there more? And who's that guy going to be?
And they had a fullback out there at times yesterday.
It was a tight end.
Yes.
It was
that's one of the glaring things to me when you're trying to do that. Who's that guy going to be? You know.
Well, I actually thought Pope looked like he could be that guy. I mean, he looked like he could play fullback to me.
If they're just going to use it as part of a short yardage thing, then you probably could just leave it as a tight end. If it becomes a bigger part of your offense, although it didn't look like that was going to be the thing yesterday, then you probably need to find a pure fullback. But for what it looks like they're using it for, if you got a tight end that can do it that way.
To circle back around to positives again, I thought Nigel Warrior looked like, to me on the defense, he looked like the guy that was playing faster than everybody else.
And might even start at Alabama. Who knows?
I don't want to go that far.
Any other negatives stand out, or any other observations just in general? I was disappointed they kept the clocks rolling, which, you know, last week I said one of the things I want to see is if they try and do it under normal game circumstances, clock management on the field, timeout management from the coaches. Are we going to see delay of game penalties, that kind of stuff? Because they rolled the clock and ran it the way they did, you didn't really get a feel for how well they grasp the offense and how at ease these coaches are yet.
Yeah, another negative, but you can tell, boy, you need to get some quarterback help on the way. That was one of the things that really stood out. That
Agreed.
You need to have somebody else there and have them warming up in the bullpen pretty quick.
All right. Okay, guys, I tell you what, Jeremy Pruitt didn't mince words yesterday after the game. He had plenty to say about players he thought quit, about an MVP who he says still has a way to go, and then about partially the fans. So we'll cover all that in the next two segments. This should be fun. Come on back on the Sports Source.